Hey folks, welcome to my YouTube channel again, and here's another video of my reminiscing of old Houston that's long gone. But of course, with anything old, there's something new and better usually pops up, as is the case with today's shopping center I want to talk about. When I was a kid, and we're talking late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s, where I'm at, the parking lot I'm sitting in used to be for a really big old Kmart and a store called Lewis and Coker grocery stores. Of course, you young folks today have never heard of Lewis and Coker grocery stores, but there was a time when they were a pretty big chain of a chain of grocery stores throughout the Texas. I think they were in Louisiana also, throughout the Southwest anyway. And of course, Kmart is, even though there's very few of them left anymore, they once were right up there with Sears, Montgomery Ward. They were a pretty big name as far as retail stores go. And this building has had an extension on both ends, and I'll show you that in just a second. But like at the very end where the subway is, and there's a dental clinic, that used to be the lawn and garden area. It just had a fence and all the plants were sitting outside, and on the other end they extended it out maybe 20 feet or so. But it was originally just two big large stores here, Lewis and Coker Grocery and Kmart, and I'll show you right now. Okay, bear with me with my phone here. Where that subway is and that dental clinic by the Rainbow, that used to be the lawn and garden area, and FAMSA, Rainbow, Harbor Freight right there, that was all Kmart. And right about where that Chinese buffet is there, which my dad loved that Chinese buffet. I don't know why. I thought it was horrible. We ate there, I think I went with him twice, and it made me sick every time. But anyway, right about where that Chinese buffet is the wall that divided the Kmart side from the Lewis and Coker side. Now, Lewis and Coker, this location was bought out by Sellers Brothers, and they added a Melrose, but originally I think the Lewis and Coker started right about where that buffet is, or maybe right where the Melrose is. The Sellers Brothers, though, has been there for a very, very long time. In fact, the Sellers Brothers, I think, came first before they got rid of the Kmart, but I could be wrong about that. But this is where we used to do all of our shopping. Well, not all of it, but most of it. We sometimes went to Wine Gardens, another old Houston memory. Sometimes we went to other places. But generally we would come here to the Lewis and Coker, now Sellers Brothers, and we'd buy all of our groceries there. And then we'd come right next door to Kmart over here and get clothes and things like that. Of course, we went to Sears and other places too, but Kmart was the closest to us because we live on the bayou, right on the other side of this, on the back of this shopping center. I guess on a morbid, sad note, right here at the Kmart was where my Uncle Jimmy had his last day on Earth. My mom went in here to do some shopping, and he knew that my dad had I think it was a 38 handgun. I'm not sure, but it was a small chrome-plated pistol. And while my mom was shopping with us, and we were going to get a milkshake inside, because back then Kmart had a little fountain where you could get milkshakes and little sandwiches like hot dogs, grilled cheeses, things like that. My uncle went to the sporting goods section and bought bullets for the gun, and a couple of hours later he killed himself at the house. I know, very sad. Why am I even discussing it? Because, a family's history is, I'm a firm believer that a family's history is not all just good moments. There's bad moments too, and the bad moments bring us together a lot like the good moments in life do. So to forget the good and the bad, I don't believe in that. I believe in telling it like it is. My uncle was a very brave person, I think. I think Uncle Jimmy was very strong to try to kick his drug habit cold turkey. Honestly, he probably should have got help because the pain was too much for him. He couldn't handle it anymore, and he took the only way out that he felt he could. Looking back in hindsight, maybe he should have went and weaned himself off it, but this is in hindsight, and this is an event that happened in 1979. So it's easy to sit back and say, oh, well, you should have done this and you should have done that. That was, 40 years ago or so. So, but I often wonder, what life had been like if all of my uncles were still alive, in their old age, and didn't get up to the crazy shit that they got into. But that's what life is about. Good and bad, good and evil, light and dark, yin and yang, however you want to put it. But anyway, going back to reminiscing about this shopping center that we spent so much time at as a kid, I'm gonna have to drive around. So let's put this car in drive, shall we? And I'm gonna turn it around as we turn around the thing here. And I want to point out this McDonald's where I just bought my lunch, right in front of me, right here. The Golden Arches, as you can see, right up there's the Golden Arches. This has been a McDonald's as far as I can remember, which means, and I can remember back pretty far, and that means this was probably a McDonald's. It was probably built sometime in the early 70s, maybe mid 70s, around the time I was born. But as a little kid, I remember this, back in around 1980 or so, there being a McDonald's here. So it's been here at least since 1980. That's a long time for a fast food place to be here. The building right next to it, that disgusting looking yellow sunflower color, I guess, that's the back of what used to be Monterey's. It was a Tex-Mex restaurant. Today they call it Monterey's Little Mexico. But Monterey sold this place, I want to say sometime in the mid 80s. They shut it down, and then I think it was empty for a couple of years. And then a place called Wings and More bought it, and they were here for a good 15, maybe close to 20 years. And then a few years ago, instead of Wings and More, their competitor bought it, and now it's called Brewings with a Z at the end of it, which is the most horrible name. I can't stand it. Brewings. Ugh. But I've eaten there once. I did not care for it. I thought Wings and More was better. Their chicken strips are better. The wings I thought were better. But it's a popular place. It still does the same thing it's always done. It's a sports bar type of place. A good place for wings and beer and watch a game. That's pretty much what it's for. So, one more memory in this area. Right over here, across that little street from the McDonald's, where you see that Chick-fil-A sign and that Burger King sign and that truck in my way right there. This all used to be a really large hotel, and I think it was called the Gateway Motel. I really can't remember, but it took up that whole little block there, and it's long gone now. There was a time when they tore down all the rooms, but they left the ballroom for several years, and it was like a venue that was rented out for like Tejano bands to play. It was like a nightclub, I guess, but they weren't open all the time. It was just for specific concerts from up-and-coming Tejano bands. My nephew actually works at the Chick-fil-A right there. That's right, Wayside and Gulf Freeway. And I don't really like when they tear down things from my childhood, but I was so glad to see them tear that raggedy old hotel down and build something useful. That strip mall there has, a lot of places. The America's Best eyeglasses, AT&T, Burger King, Chick-fil-A. There's a gas station. There's a bakery, El Bolillo Bakery, I think is what it's called. But sometimes tearing down things from the past does have a bright side to it. It brings things that I think are needed to this neighborhood to make it better. Because let's be honest, in the past you did not have all these options for delicious food or good shopping. I mean, nowadays you can shop online, and that's a convenience I both like and hate. It's a love-hate thing for me. But anywho, that's today's reminiscing. Actually, right on the backside, I don't know if you can see, on the backside of the line of stores there, by that billboard that says Body Armor, right by that billboard is an old, you can't see their sign from here, unfortunately, is a place called Mary Ann Donuts. And Mary Ann Donuts has been there, I don't know, I mean, they probably opened that in the late 60s, and it's still there. And I looked them up online. There's only, I think, 2 of them. One is in Louisiana, and the other one is right here. Unfortunately, I can't say they make good donuts and kolaches, because they were terrible. The donuts were hard. The kolaches were kind of tough and dried up, and hardly any cheese in them. I think every now and then my dad would go over there for donuts and kolaches and stuff, and we'd always get the lemon-filled ones for me. But to be honest, I went back there about a year ago, and it was disgusting. You know, there's a place that's been at Park Place and Telephone, been there since 1956. It's called the Original Kolache Shop, and the Original Kolache Shop is just delicious. They make delicious, big, juicy kolaches. You get your money's worth there. And my nephew tells me the coffee there is excellent. So, as much as I like the old-fashioned Mary Ann Donuts from my childhood, I would not recommend going there. If you want kolaches, no donuts, they don't serve donuts, but if you want good kolaches, then go to the Original Kolache Shop at Park Place and Telephone Road. I assure you, they're very good. They've been there since 1956. They have to be doing something good. So anyway, that's it for today's video, and join me next time where I will reminisce some more about some long gone Houston landmarks or something. And hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.